Andrea Mandel here at the People EW studio at the Toronto International Film Festival, and I'm here with the cast of The Swimmers, a really special film that I was lucky enough to see last night at the premiere. And the story moved me so much, and one of the most special things about it is that it's about two real sisters being played by two real sisters, which I don't think I've ever encountered before. It's the story of how Yusra and Sarah and Yusra really left Syria on this intense journey on your way to Germany. So I just wanted to start with you, Sarah and Yusra, talking about what it's been like to have your lives portrayed on screen, and also what it's been like to challenge the stereotypes around the word refugee. I mean, I think this film does so much to humanize the experience of what so many go through.
First of all, it's like, to be honest, it's such an honor to have our story chosen between many other stories to be told. And to break the stereotype of refugees in the worldwide, I think you cannot break it. There's no stereotype from the first place. It's just stateless people who've been through war, and they had to find a solution to what's going on in their lives, and then you end up on a unsafe boat, and you just have to cross to find safety somewhere else. So yeah, I'm very glad that our story is being said, and it's one story of 1,000 others.
And I should mention, for you, Yusra, is that the story begins with your journey outside of journeying outside of Syria. It also comes in the middle of your quest to go to the Olympics, and that's what the film follows as well. So I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about your experience.
I did not even imagine to be at one Olympics alone. I was at two, and yeah, I think the whole journey, it shows, the movie as well, it shows that if you work hard for something, if you put the hard work, you dedicate time for it, you try as hard as you can to reach your goals, you do, and that's what happened with me. And it shows that just because you're a refugee, that does not mean you get to be treated differently, or you do not have dreams, or you get to be criticized in a way where you have to look a certain way, or you have to act a certain way, or yeah, there's this negative picture around refugees, and being a member of the first ever refugee Olympic team helped me accept that it is okay what happened to me, that being a refugee is not something bad, but it's something to embrace and be proud of.
Manal, I wanted to go to you next. I understand that you found the script first and then maybe convinced your sister Natalie to take on the role of Yusra. How did this work, and how did you both end up on the screen playing sisters together? It's so special.
I don't think I have the power to decide. So it's Sally who decided. So Sally I met Sally first during the casting, and I told her that I have a sister. Then Natalie did the casting. She was really good. It was really good casting, and it was the choice of Sally.
Sally, what was it like for you? I mean, did you intend to cast two sisters, or how did this become the right fit?
No, I definitely didn't. But when I saw them together, the chemistry was just so incredible. There's so much to draw from, and Natalie and Manal were just amazing together, that it was a no-brainer for me.
And Natalie, you play an Olympic swimmer. I had read that, I'm not sure, were you a swimmer before this film at all?
No, before, does it make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Before the swimmers, I didn't know how to swim, and I was scared of the water, and all my life I never thought I would be able to even do a stroke or whatever. So yeah, this is what also before doing the casting I was like, look, I'm not a swimmer, I don't know if I will be able to. So yeah, I had to learn how to swim, I had to start from zero to be able to achieve strokes, freestyle, butterfly. It was a long journey, it was a long adventure, but I enjoyed every second of it, and it also helped me to prepare for the role, to know how it feels to be in the water, to know how it feels to want to swim better, and yeah.
What a swimmer you became.
Yeah. I'm amazing.
Water is so simple.
She was like, I'm amazing. We know.
No, amazing swimmer. No, for real, in 6 weeks, he told me, Sven, because he's a coach, and he was like, in 6 weeks, it's crazy that we go from a non-swimmer to kind of a good swimmer. But it's, yeah, with motivation and will, you can only achieve.
I never thought that she can do it. No, at the beginning. But after the second day, I said to you that because there was something like a breakdown.
Yeah.
And I just told her, look, you told me you want this role so
Yeah, of course.
much.
This is what you learn. This is what I think. What I learned is that when you want something and when you really, really want it, you can achieve it, no matter how hard it is. So I discovered a side of me that I didn't know. So yeah.
Yeah, and after a week she could do the first crawl strokes and some butterfly kicks.
So let me make sure I got this right. Sven, you coached the girls in real life. And then for the film, you
Coach Natalie.
coached Natalie and taught her how to swim. And so, Matthias, you play the coach in the film. But this is an amazing connection as well. I mean, what has your experience been like following this all the way through from when this began with Yusra's journey to the Olympics and now this journey to the screen?
Yeah, I mean, both are two different stories. Yeah, one was my passion as a swimming coach to work with Yusra, that she can go to the Olympics and all this. And then we had a little sidekick with Sarah, and then we started to do the film. And so it was totally different experiences and something totally new. But I don't want to miss it.
And water is really such an important part of this story. There's a beautiful journey in the water to the Olympics. There's a very harrowing journey in the water, in the sea, as these two sisters crossed to on their way to Germany. And I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about shooting those night scenes in the sea that were so harrowing. In the film, both girls jump out of this very crowded raft in an effort to save everyone on it because it was sinking. I assume this is based on real life, but I'm curious if you could talk about how that experience dovetailed with what you filmed and what it was like to actually film that.
To who?
Sally, if you'd like to start.
Yeah. I had this idea with the film that everything above the water would be reality and everything underwater would be a place of memory and the subconscious, and it would be an emotive place where feelings were explored. So there's non-reality underwater in the movie. So when we were filming The Crossing, we filmed all the day portions for real in the Aegean Sea. And it's from that same Turkish coast where a lot of dinghies are still traveling from today. And when we were wrecking those places, we saw boats crossing, which brought home to us, the fact that this is a very current and alive situation still. The night tank parts of the film were shot in a water tank because it was just unsafe to shoot in open water at night. But the daytime parts, we cast a lot of actual refugees who had taken that journey themselves in the dinghy, and who, really wanted to bring it to the screen and to share what they had gone through. And so in that boat was a mix of actors and then supporting cast members who'd never acted before but had done the journey for real. And so there was this incredible bond that was created on that raft because our camera dinghy was just alongside the main dinghy. So in the camera boat, we were tied to them, we were bobbing along in the sea, and it was pretty rough. So when you see the actors vomiting, they really were vomiting.
And Sarah and Yusra, what was it like for you to see this on the big screen after living it?
To be honest, I was crying all the time. First time I watch it, second time I watch it. I think it's really incredible how Sally and the girls and the whole cast could actually just make it as real as how it was. Like, when I was watching it, I was like, I'm choking in my seat. I was like, I really wanted to finish because it's painful. It's still, even after so many years, we lived it and still see it. But they did a great job. It was exactly how it's been.
And Yusra,
it was exactly the same for me. And adding up to that is that When I watch this scene over and over again, or in general, just when I go to the sea, I always remember that we were one of, the lucky ones. Some people had to suffer through that and did not make it. And I want this movie to honor them as well, to show that, there are millions of people that are going through that, and not just us. But in general, it is very hard. I mean, until now, I have so much respect for the sea, and I have emotions just going on a boat again, ever. I always cry if I go on a boat or anything, so I stay as far away as I can. But in the pool, it's kind of crazy because I'm a swimmer, but in the pool it's different. You can see the four ends, you can see the floor and everything, so yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing this story with us. Thank you for sharing this film. It will be on Netflix soon, and we appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.